Hey everybody, it's Elmika, and I'm here to offer a quick webinar on how to leave well and build a raft. Moving is hard. I think we can all agree. And no matter how many times you've done it, whether you're moving to a new country or repatriating back to your home country, leaving and saying goodbye is never easy. And no matter how much you've loved or didn't love your posting here in Bamako. Moving on is a process that takes time, and the physical and emotional toll that it takes should be honored and managed in healthy ways so that you can move forward to your new position or your new home in a space of acceptance and inviting of new experiences. As educators, we spend so much time caring for others, and I think it's important that we take some time and give ourselves what we may be needing during this time of transition. This image is one that I've used to check in with students, especially since we've been in distance learning. But I think it really illustrates the different moods or stages that one can go through before and during and after a big life change. So, as you can see, there are some images that are really enjoying their space. Some are even swinging and having fun. There are some that are relaxing and it seems like they're reflecting. There are others that seem like they want to be left alone. Some that may be longing. Others seem to have found community and support. Others seem triumphant, and while others seem that they're falling. In every transition, there are stages that everyone goes through, and some may kind of go back and forth between these different phases, whether we realize it or not. So, how do we leave well? Now, there's some of us who don't like saying goodbye. I personally would rather, avoid it if I could, but I know I can't. Um, I've learned that you just kind of have to go through it because if you don't, you could regret it. I've found that building my raft has been the key for me to do so in a really healthy way and even, might I say, like graceful. So, what is building a raft? Um, RAFT is an acronym that was developed by David C. Pollock. He is someone that really knows about like third culture kids and talking about the difficulties of, people living overseas and internationally and kind of what experiences they go through. And he developed this to kind of really help people make more seamless transitions. This process of moving can take up to 6 months or more, like the emotional process of it, or even the logistical process of it. Um, and I know now we don't have that much time for this particular kind of process of building a raft, but this is the simple form of this model that can give you some ideas on how to really make this process your own. So the first, one is reconciliation, and it's just that, reconciling with people, making the relationship right. Just because you leave a place doesn't mean that the problem or the difficulties you had with them goes away. Instead it comes with you, whether the challenges of that situation or just kind of the resentment and the feelings associated with it. Research has been done that health related issues kind of happen due to kind of unforgiveness or kind of holding on to emotions. So, try to help yourself by letting go of the regrets and resolve some of the conflicts or just even disagreements that you had, that you can do, before you leave. Affirmation, is there anyone that you are extremely thankful for? Has anyone helped you greatly while living here in Bamako? Tell them. Let them know how much you appreciate them, for what they did for you or for your family. Sometimes that's really awkward to do, and so if you're that type of person where it's really hard for you to kind of express that gratitude in that way, write them a letter or get them a card to tell them. But just find a way to tell them. You'll have an opportunity to make someone feel appreciated, and I think you'll feel great that you did it. So, farewells. This is not the fun part, but saying goodbye is a very important part of building the raft. Um, you think of all the people that you want to say goodbye to. In an article that I read recently, it said to rank your friends, which sounds really harsh, but I do think it's a good idea. Different people need different things and different goodbyes. And by ranking them, it will help you kind of determine beforehand, what that person might need or what you might need in saying goodbye to them. But also, don't forget to say goodbye to places and things as well. This may sound really strange, but it helps kind of bring some closure. You know, um, if you have kids, this one is really important as well. That you plan a visit to your favorite restaurant or coffee shop. I think in time of quarantine, I think you can get takeout. If you can, drive by your favorite sites or places. If there was a park that you loved, visiting or a special site, like go there and actually say goodbye. While it may feel weird, I think it helps you kind of honor your experience here and the things that meant something to you. Um, if you're able, or even virtually, find a way to say goodbye to those places. Even if it's a waiter at a restaurant, trust me, like they will miss you. So there's two parts of this T. So the first one is, think about the destination. um and it's just that, think about the next place, kind of think and plan and fantasize and all that goes into it. How will it be different from where you are now? How will it be the same? Go through this dialogue with your family members or you know anybody that you're moving with. um, it'll help them in the process as well. Look up on the internet and read about your new place. Check it out on Google Maps. But just a reminder, it's okay to feel excited about this new destination but also feel sad about leaving. This is totally normal. Also think realistically. Organize during this time all the things that you need to do and what are you actually able to do. Be realistic about that. What can you emotionally handle right now? And really kind of abandon the shoulds, of how things should be happening for you or how everyone should be responding to your departure. Really abandon those and understand that, you know, those that are staying are going through things as well, and realizing that you may not be able to say goodbye to everyone or visit all of those places that you may have hoped, but that's okay. Find ways to cope with those feelings and figure out another way to say goodbye to those who mean the world to you. So, strategies for a healthy transition. The first one is always take care of yourself. The saying is secure your own mask before helping others. And I think as educators, that's very important for us to remember that we should always be finding ways to care for ourselves and take care of ourselves before kind of giving that energy to other people. Um, if you're going to handle the physical and emotional toll that moving will take on your body, you have to stay healthy. Make sure that you're eating a relatively healthy diet, finding ways to move your body each day. And this could be as small as, drinking loads of water and doing yoga, or as elaborate as, doing a juice cleanse and running 10 miles a day. Do what works for you and what makes sense for your lifestyle. But the important thing is being as healthy as you can, because as we know that stress can make, the body very susceptible to illness. Speaking of stress, recognize that stress is a natural part of moving or any big transition. In any life event, there's bound to be some level of stress that's going to kind of take over your life. So prepare for this and find a way to engage in a mindfulness or calming activity that you enjoy. Some examples are deep breathing, meditation, yoga, or just going for a walk. Anything that you can do to keep your nervous system regulated during this stressful time will help you a lot. Set short term goals. So, before you leave and even after you arrive in your new destination, try not to put pressure on yourself to accomplish too much right now. Take things slow and begin to build projects or long lists of things to do into your routine and into your life. The transition itself is huge and a feat. And it will be very, very stressful, but take your time, be easy with yourself. Find connections where you can. Seek out individuals who can be positive mentors for you as a new teacher and resident in your communities, whether this be in your school or in an expat Facebook group or through other online interest meeting groups like Meetup or Internations. With the pandemic that rocked the world and seemed to turn everything upside down, you know, a lot of people had to leave quickly without a chance to build a proper raft. Um, and what can be done about that? You know, how can you go day to day feeling kind of incomplete or missing something? I know some of you, your friends have left, or people that, you hung out in the community, they had to leave abruptly and you weren't able to kind of give a proper goodbye. Well, you can Zoom, you can FaceTime, you can Skype. Um, you can call those people and just tell them what you need to tell them. You can enter Google Earth to visit some of the places that you can't go and see. I know it's not the same. You know, Listen, I'm not sure if there is an answer that kind of wraps up the ugly, messy feelings in a nice red bow. In time, things will become normal. In time, you may return to say goodbye, but you can't be sure that everything or everyone will be here. Um, you may find that you need to talk to a professional because the loss is traumatic and great, and that's okay. You know, you are figuring it all out, but please try to find a way to be gentle with yourself. You're grieving, and moving through that in a really healthy way requires a good amount of grace and wisdom. So I want to thank you for um, attending this webinar. I had hoped that we could do this kind of in person, but with all of the schedules and things, I'm really glad that I figured out the technology to record things for you guys. But if there is anything that you need from me to help with the transition or any feelings or anything like that, please, please let me know. But I wish you all well and safe journeys wherever you're headed. And we'll always be here for you. So please reach out to us if there's anything that you need. So thank you and take care. Bye.